Hey everybody, it's Terensu here with the moment you have all been waiting for. Anyway, Namco said last week that they would announce the Tekken 7 release date this week, and you will be overjoyed as I was to know that they wasted no time. Very, very early this morning, they released the release date that we'd all been waiting for. Just a heads up for all of you who came just to know when that was. If you can't read what's below me, below my voice, it's the 2nd of June 2017. That's it. That's the release date for Tekken 7 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now, if you would like to hear the rest of my speculation, you can continue listening. But if you just came for the punchline, that's it. 2nd of June 2017. Anyway, so Namco did in fact announce that June 2nd, 2017 would be the release of Tekken 7. That unfortunately also does confirm the rumor that there was a delay. We'll talk a little bit about that more in a second. First off, let's just get into what they gave us this morning. So you're looking at an image. I believe this was released on Namco's official Twitter. You got Tekken 7, and I'm interested to see, or I find it interesting that they decided to use the Xbox One version for this advertisement. I wonder if there's one with a PS4 cover floating around out there. Anyway, Tekken 7 is coming out June 2nd. If you pre-order the game, you get early access to Eliza. And I believe if you look down here in the fine print somewhere, it says that Eliza will be paid DLC after a certain amount of time. So it's not, to my understanding, it is not like Tekken Tag 2. If you pre-order the game, you get Eliza. All right. If you don't pre-order the game, Eliza will be sold to you. She will not eventually be free. And if that is incorrect, I will gladly update this video. But from the other advertisement I've read and just everything I'm hearing, you will have to pay for Eliza if you do not get her via pre-order. If you really want Eliza, I really don't, but I'm going to pre-order anyway, so I'm going to get her. And I'm going to pre-order this thing the GameStop route, by the way. Don't go and drop $60 full on this game somewhere unless you have to play it on PC and you just have to get Eliza. Don't drop $60. Just go to GameStop, put down $5 off the total purchase price of the game and get Eliza. But that's an argument for another day. So the game's coming out June 2nd. You pre-order, you get Eliza. And then right here it says if you pre-order from the Xbox store, you get Tekken 6 free. And playable on Xbox One. I don't know if that counts on PS4. I haven't heard anything about that, so we'll have to stay tuned for that. Let's also swap over to this. They also announced the Tekken 7 Collector's Edition box. So that's available the same date, obviously. You get the figure here, which I'm really curious as to how that thing stands, because it looks like Kazuya's part would be way heavier than Heihachi's part and would just tip the thing over. But I'm sure they thought of that somehow. Anyway, you get the collectible figure, you get the game soundtrack, which will, I'm just saying, it'll probably be on YouTube the day the game's out, just saying. You get the steel book, I'm not quite sure what's in that, probably a artwork type thing. And you also get the day one edition of the game, which is probably the exact same disc as if you were to just walk into, say, Walmart and buy one off the shelf. So I usually don't spring for collector's editions, but if you like this stuff, you think it's worth it to you, go for it, knock yourself out. I do not believe there's been a price announced for it. There probably is. You can go check on Amazon to get the price for the collector's edition. It's probably the same as most collector's edition type releases. You've seen them before. This is nothing new in the gaming world, so you can really figure that out. Also announced was, surprise, Tekken 7 will contain a season pass. That's right, a DLC season pass. A lot of mixed feelings about this, but let's just get to the facts first. It says extend your Tekken 7 experience with a season pass and receive all 3 of the Tekken 7 content packs sold separately at a 17% discount, and it's $25, which I feel like is becoming standard fare for season passes. Like you look at the Mortal Kombat Combat Pack, I think that was around $20. This one's $24.99, which is a little bit pricier. It says it includes playable characters. I do not believe they have announced how many or what characters those will be. That's another big thing I would need to look at before making a decision about this season pass. And that's not going to take the edge off if it's some character that should have been in the game to begin with that they're holding back. But regardless, the facts. That includes playable characters, new stages, a new game mode, as well as costume packs. And you get a season pass bonus down here. It says includes exclusive metallic costume pack with over 35 different pieces. So that's probably something akin to, like, if you remember, if you pre-ordered Tekken Tag 2, you got the swimsuit pack, and it was just like a bunch of mix and match swimsuit pack pieces for all the characters that you could use. That's pretty much the gist of it. We're about to get into incoherent rambling, so just tune out if you don't want to hear that. So let's get to the incoherent rambling. Tekken 7 has been delayed to June 2nd. Namco basically, and Harada has said basically that their reason for doing this is exactly what I said it would be. Hey guys, we want more time to finish the game and make it what it should be. And I'm okay with that. Harada, he's been active on Twitter, and there's an interview, I think, with GameSpot, and he posted on his Facebook, if you're one of the people that's friends with him on Facebook, that he's sorry for the delay, but it had to be done so that they could put in all the content that you would expect. So I admire that. It sucks, yes. I was hoping to play this thing in March or April, but the game will come out. It's okay. Game's still going to come out. June 2nd is not horrible. It's not like it's next year. It's not like it's November or December. It'll be this summer. Hopefully when a lot of school-age people are out from school, they'll be able to play it. I myself have a business trip I go on twice a year, so that's far away from that. I won't have to worry about that getting in the way. So, there could be worse times for it to come out. I am glad that they decided to wait, finish the game, get all the content ready, put all the good content that you expect out of a Tekken port in there, and just release it when it's ready, rather than doing Street Fighter V-esque shenanigans and giving us a half-baked game with a missing story or a missing arcade mode or a missing whatever, and just, saying, oh, we'll patch it in later. Yeah, that'll be $60, but we'll patch it in later. So just go ahead and give us that $60, and we'll patch this in when we feel like it. So that's good. It's good that everything will be in there. Now, with this, they also released a story trailer, which I'm sure most of you have seen. You can check out Namco or Tekken's official Twitter. It's on there. Great trailer. It looks like they were really focusing on the story mode for the trailer, which is, that makes sense because the console version, it's going to have a lot more casual players that are interested in that. The arcade scene is really all about the competition. So it makes sense. It's good that they kind of focused on that. But the trailer looked great. The CGI was awesome, as always. Namco always has some of the best CGI in the industry. And it looks like that they have continued that tradition with Tekken 7. I just like to toot my own horn a bit as a Lee main. Lee was in the trailer a lot. It looks like he has some significance in the story this time around. It also looks like we're going to see a return of significance to Lars, so that's good that he wasn't just kind of a one and done. It looks like he's very much in the thick of things. This story, it's the conclusion of the Mishima Saga, so it's very much about Kazuya versus Heihachi. But as we know, when those two fight each other, it causes a lot of turmoil to everybody involved. So it's good to know that it's not just this two-sided story about Kazuya and Heihachi, but we're going to see all the characters in there. The big focus seemed to be, to me, on Lars, Elisa, Lee, of course Heihachi and Kazuya, and to some extent Kazumi. And Nina, actually. Nina was in there a good bit. It was interesting to see that she's going to play a pretty big role in the story, or at least what I've seen thus far makes me think that. Anyway, I knew all that would be good, but let's talk about some of this other stuff, like the season pass and the delay and all that. I'm fine with the delay. The season pass, I don't know how I feel about this. Harada said a while ago that he considered the characters in his fighting games to be like pieces of chess. How dumb would chess be if you went to play someone at chess, but that person didn't have a rook, or that person didn't have a queen? If everybody didn't have the same pieces on the board, it wouldn't make sense. And so Harada said around the time of Tekken 6 and Tekken Tag 2, basically any characters that we release will eventually be released free because you got to have all the pieces to play the game properly. But now it seems like, I don't know if it was necessarily Harada, but maybe Namco has decided, well, not so much. We are going to sell new playable characters and new stages. The new stages and the costume packs, I could care less if that was paid DLC, because you don't really need that to fully enjoy the game as a fighter. New stages even, Tekken is not really big as far as like there's no death traps on certain stages and things like that. So I'm not really worried about stages. But the playable characters thing is kind of a stab after Harada's position on that. Then again, this could just be Namco kind of forcing his hand. He does work for a big company. I said it in the other video. Company is going to company. They're going to be out for their money. Every other fighting game market nowadays is selling characters. It's just so easy to pump out new characters as DLC. Now, this is going to be bad publicity-wise for Tekken, I think, because we all know that Tekken 7 has a reduced roster of characters after Harada basically said a few games ago that they weren't taking out characters anymore. Tekken they're trying to make it a very, MLG type franchise, so you don't want to alienate people by taking a character that they've spent a lot of time to learn out of the game. But now, Tekken 7, when they kind of rebooted things for 7, they kind of focused on this core group of characters. And, they can say that that's based off player use data and all of this stuff all day. But at the end of the day, the fans of the characters that got left out, they're going to be the squeaky wheel, right? They're going to be the loudest ones on the internet, throwing up flames and being mad and posting all this crap and complaining about the game and writing bad reviews and all this. So, these characters, these playable characters that they're coming out with, it takes a lot of work to make a new character for Tekken. I just do not see them making more brand new characters. Now, they very well could, don't get me wrong. They very well could come out with some new characters. Some, completely new to the story characters. But just given the story-heavy nature of this game, it doesn't seem likely. Because you're going to come and you're going to have that story on release, and that story is going to have all the characters that are central to that story. So at the end of the day, you can release this new character, but it's kind of like he's just kind of out there. He doesn't really have a place in the game. And that may feel strange for some of those console people who are just all about the story and whatnot. Now, all that to say, if it's not new characters coming out in these content packs, that means who else is left but old favorites. So, there's a lot of really popular characters that aren't in Tekken 7 right now, or have at least not been announced. There's no Eddie Gordo, there's no Anna Williams, no Bruce Irving. A lot of really classic characters are missing. And, even Kunimitsu, who is not the most popular, but one of my favorites, they completely remade her for Tekken Tag 2 and made her awesome. She just blew her Tekken 1 and 2 incarnation out of the water. And then she's missing all that work on that new character, and she's not even in Tekken 7. So, is this where we're going to see some of those so-called fringe characters? Namco and Harada love to talk about how they've got all this data saying, oh, well, characters that you think are popular aren't really popular because we have the data to back it up. So is it mainly just going to be those characters that were kind of on the fringe, that they're basically going to be selling these characters back to you? I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation. Like, if the character was not that popular to put in the game, why are they that popular to sell? Is that not extra resources that you had to devote towards making a new version of this character, putting it in the Tekken 7 engine, and then throwing it up on the PSN or the Xbox One marketplace to sell? I just do not like this new about face on the Tekken series policy with characters. I was completely fine with you pre-order and you get them early and then they time release later on, but just keeping them out of the game to sell you back or creating new characters that only some people will have, I just don't like it for Tekken. Now I realize that I do support Mortal Kombat and that series, which has done that. Both recent Mortal Kombats, MK9 and MKX, both did that. They sold new and old favorite characters separately into the game. It just kind of stings a little more when Tekken does it because they had previously had this policy like, no, we're not going to take the rook and we're not going to take the bishop or we're not going to take the pawn out of the game. All the pieces are eventually going to be, at least eventually, going to be available to everybody. So don't know how I feel about that. It also says that there is a new game mode in that. And that kind of worries me a little bit because it's probably going to be something that you should have gotten with the base game, like your Tekken Force mode or something like that. Now, given that the Tekken Force mode of Tekken 6 was essentially the scenario campaign, which was essentially the story mode of the game, I don't know how much I can complain about that if it's Tekken Force, because you're already getting this great, very in-depth story mode that takes you through, as it looks like now, multiple playable characters and multiple scenarios. So we'll just have to wait. The jury's kind of out on that one, so to speak. We'll have to see some more information about that new game mode and what it is. And as I find that out, I'll make new videos and comment on it and put it up here and all that. Costume packs, hey, I can live with or live without. I do know that they've announced some classic costumes for the game. Like you can have that goofy costume King had in Tekken 1 and 2 with like the blue pants and the tie and all that. You can have that. That's great, whatever. As long as the costumes don't give some sort of advantage over other players in the game, I'm fine with that. You know what? Sell costume packs. Who cares? I'm also not sure what this exclusive metallic costume pack with over 35 pieces is. I mean, what is that? You just gonna be able to dress all the characters as Dural from Virtua Fighter? Is that a metallic costume pack? Jury's still out on that one too. Gonna need some more information about that. Regardless, Tekken has been delayed, and that's sad. But I do think it's going to be worth the wait. I hope this is a good package. I hope that this season pass, which has kind of come out of nowhere, is not signaling kind of the downfall of the Tekken console port. Harada today in one of his many posts, he mentioned that Namco makes a lot of money from the arcade cycle of the game. And he said that's why it takes so long to get the thing on console, is because Namco makes a lot of good money and they use that money to put it toward the special effects and story content and all that stuff that's in the home version. I'm willing to believe you, Harada. I am. I'm willing to believe you for now, as long as this is a good port. All right, Tekken has always been a good content-filled port. All right, now Tekken 7 is coming out. It's been delayed, and you've made a statement. You said, "Oh, even with this season pass, we have used this long wait to build content to put in this thing. Now, I want this content to be good enough on release, right? For $60, this needs to be a full package game. You can still sell the season pass. I have no problem with that. I don't even really have just a huge problem with the playable characters in that DLC, as disappointing as that is after your prior stance. But, make the console game a full game. All right? I don't want to get in there and find out that, it ends on this big cliffhanger that they're going to sell me more story chapters later. I don't want to get in there and find out that in the story mode I'm fighting characters like Kunimitsu and like Bruce and like, whoever. And then you're going to come back and sell them to me as DLC, right? The old Capcom practice of, oh, we just put the characters on the disc so that when we sell them later, you can unlock it faster. No, that's BS. You either have to do like Mortal Kombat X with Tanya, who was in the story mode, but she was incomplete. She just had like a fireball and a few crappy moves, and they fully fleshed out her character and made her playable, or not at all, right? Don't sell me characters that could have been playable on day one. Don't do that. It's just not right. I will stick by my usual, do they have a right to? Yes, it's their game and their business. Does that make it right? No, probably not. So, this needs to be a complete package. I think it will be. I could be wrong. Namco, in my 20 years of playing Tekken, has not let me down thus far. I've been very pleased with every Tekken port I bought. Times are changing in the gaming industry. I think this one will still be good, but going to have to wait and see. I probably will put down the $5 to get Eliza, just completely upfront, full disclosure, I probably will do that because I'm gonna get the game. I love Tekken. Lee's in it, so I've got a character. I can't wait to try out some of the new characters. I think Kazumi is going to be a backup for me, so I probably will pre-order. But if at all possible, avoid a $60 pre-order, guys. Don't go plop $60 on the game somewhere. If anything, do the GameStop pre-order. Put down $5 that goes off the purchase price of the game, and you get Eliza. Unless you're on PC and you just have to have Eliza right then, don't go drop $60 on this thing until it's been out a while. You know it's worth it. You know it doesn't get you anything. As far as the season pass, gonna need some more information. Maybe if Kunimitsu and some other good characters are in there, I'll probably have to begrudgingly buy it. But it does kind of suck to know that they would be keeping those supposedly less popular characters back to sell to you. But anyway, this has gone on long enough. I appreciate you watching, appreciate you listening. I will be putting out more commentary on Tekken 7 in the coming weeks, so if you've enjoyed these videos and this playlist I've made, don't worry, there's more commentary coming. I'm not just going to forget it now that we know when it's coming out. And I am sure that we'll put out some more stuff about the game, and publicize it in the how many months is it? Like 4 or 5 months we have till it comes out. So keep an eye out. I've got some more great gaming stuff coming up as well. As always, leave a comment and a like. Subscribe if subscribe if you really like the stuff. And tell me what you want to see. Comment below. Anyway, this has been Terensu signing out. Remember, Tekken 7, June 2nd. Get ready for the next battle.